Just like your uncle's hair restoration, your plugs can get old and tired. Are your plugs clean? Are they firing as strongly as they should? Are you sure? See, on your car's engine, there are parts that are meant to be replaced, but if you're anything like me, your ADHD kicks in and you forget to address them. Since I'm doing a carbon removal on this engine anyway, I figured I might as well replace the plugs and coils. So I worked with ECS Tuning to get an upgraded set of plugs and coils for this 328i wagon. And while we're doing that, it'll give me a chance to see how the existing plugs look to get an idea of whether there are any other issues on this car. I have no idea when the plugs and coils were last done on this car, but I'm assuming it is due. And anyway, an upgraded set of parts will always make a difference in performance. So let's go. And I should point out, I've never actually done this repair. In fact, I've never done most of the things that we're gonna be doing to this car. I'm just a guy modifying his daily driver in his home garage, showing you what you can do at your home. Welcome to Daily Driven Mods. First things first, gotta remove the cover. This just pops right off, very simple. And this is just some padding. Looks fortunately on this car is super easy to get to, and the coils. So this is the coil right here. This just pops up like this. Easiest way to get this out is to put a screwdriver in here, use that as leverage to pop it out. Let me show you what that looks like. Just like that. So we're gonna just one by one pull all of these out. That pops out like that. It's got a bit of dust on it. Looks okay, but definitely looks like it's time to be replaced. So when you pull up this tab, the pin should pull out. There we go. This one looks relatively clean. This one you really have to work to get it in there. This one looks relatively new. So this is interesting. This is the first one I pulled. This is the second one I pulled. And you can see by the plastic here, this one looks like it's significantly older. You can also tell just by the sort of dust that's on the end of this. So I'm thinking they replaced one at one point but didn't do the others. So fortunately we're gonna replace all of them. So all of these will be the same age and they will all be brand new. This might be part of the reason why I'm experiencing a rough idle and sort of misfire. Next step is to pull the spark plugs. You will need a special one of these. This is specifically for spark plugs. It's a little bit longer, has the right size, and it's got a little bit of rubber in there that'll hold the spark plug in. So if you've never done this before, get yourself one of these. Any ratchet will do. Why is that not coming out? Well, in today's episode of Chaz Learned Something New, I don't have the right size socket for my spark plugs. So the BMW spark plugs are 14 mil, and I have a 1/2 inch and a 5/8 inch, neither of which are 14 mil. I am now waiting for Amazon Prime to deliver a 14 mil socket. And the problem is I could go pick up one, but then the engine's hot, and then I can't work on it until tomorrow. Because this is our daily driver, I need to get this done today, and in the spirit of Daily Driven Mods, I'm gonna get this done today. So I am using Amazon Prime, same day delivery. I will link to Amazon Prime, how you can get same day delivery as well in the description. I'm also gonna link to the socket that I'm ordering, and I'm gonna link to ECS because they helped me out with the spark plugs and the coils, so you can pick up the ones for yourself. So the socket came, we're back in business. But important note here, if you are in the same situation and you need to buy a socket for your BMW or any European car, keep in mind it needs to be thin walled and 12 point. Somebody online told me that. Fortunately, I got the right one, so we should be good to go. All right, so now that we got the right socket, let's see if we can get a spark plug out. That feels more like it. There we go. So first spark plug out, about the amount of wear you would expect. This is gonna make this go way faster. All right, spark plug number 2. And to be honest, it looks like it's got a bit more wear than the other one does. That might line up and match up with that other coil being a little bit more worn than the rest of them. So let's get the other ones out and see what we're looking at. All right. Okay, and spark plug number 3. Doesn't look too bad. Well, BMW in their infinite wisdom has made this extremely challenging to get to this last spark plug. Okay, I've rigged up what I think might be a solution. Here goes nothing. Oh shit. Well, that didn't work. So for one, the pin came out of here. Secondly, tip fell off of that. It's not in here, which means it might be in there. Status update. I have broken off a piece of one of my tools in here. I have no idea if I can get it out. So now I gotta try to get that out. And in order to get into there, I'm gonna have to take all of this off. This comes off relatively easily. It's the rest of this in here that I'm not totally confident about. If I show you what this looks like in here, This is where that plastic part was. I don't know if this is in two different pieces. I'm really hoping there's nothing solid underneath here so that I can get an unobstructed view into that hole right there where the spark plug is. Step one is I'm gonna have to remove all of this rubber stuff. This has a line attached to it, lovely. Okay, this just comes off. This might turn into a bigger job than I anticipated. Let's loosen up some of these and see what we're working with here. Because I'm now in a situation where even if I were to just leave it, I'm still gonna have to potentially fish out that piece. At the very least, make sure that it's not in there. I'm gonna have to undo it from the other side too. So it turns out this whole piece in here is one solid piece. So I have to completely undo this whole line and remove this entire rubber piece here. Now I gotta undo this piece, like that. Oh, this just gets even better. So I have to take this off. I don't even know what this goes to. This went from about a 20-minute job to 45-minute job. This is the fun of dealing with cars. Fun of dealing with German cars, to be honest. As much as I love German engineering and these German cars, I don't love how complicated the engineering is. I love it when it all works. And I love it when the stuff is well engineered and easy to get to. This right here though, why should I have to take off this whole thing just to get to that one spark plug? I can't wait to turn this into an M3. Support the channel, then we'll be able to turn this into an M3 someday. Please tell me I don't have to remove this brace. It's moving, that's a good sign. But at least, aha! Oh, aha! Aha! Okay, success. Okay. Oh, there we go. Last spark plug is out, so looks like we're good. Let's get some new ones in here. A quick comparison between the old spark plug and the new spark plug. So you can see the difference here. The new one should be much more performance-minded, so we'll see. Now I have to gap these. So a really important part of this whole process is gapping your spark plug. So you can see one that I already did here. You can see that gap there is the correct gap. This gap here is not. So these came this tight. I have to get them to 0.032 because that's the gap that BMW requires. So let me show you how to do that. This right here is called a gapping tool. I got mine from O'Reilly's. You can get them anywhere. You can see here on the edge, it's got different widths. So what you want to do is you want to put this under between that gap right there until you meet resistance. I am at 0.02 and it's already giving me resistance. I can't even get that in here, so I need to open this up. If you need to close it, you can use the bottom of this, gently push on that there. If you want to open it, you can use this to pry it. At least that's what you're supposed to be able to do. Unfortunately, this is not allowing me to do that, so let me show you another way. You have to be really careful and gentle with this technique. I've got a pair of these here. What I can do is there's a hole, there's a gap right in here. I can very gently put this in here. I'm being very careful not to touch the porcelain in there. I'm creating a bridge, basically wedging this here along the other end. Pull up gently. You see that gap start to open. I know that's not quite wide enough. It's about what I need there, I think. Let's test it. So we're meeting resistance at about 0.028. If you're gonna do it this way, be very, very careful. This is an easy way to screw it up. Now, I think I opened this up a little bit too much, so let's find out. Yeah, so let's go ahead and close this a little bit. If we look at this gap, we're at 0.032, exactly where we want to be. So this spark plug is perfect. I'm gonna go do the others, and then we're gonna get them in here. Once you have your spark plug properly gapped, you just wanna chuck it in there. This is not only magnetic, but there is usually a rubber gasket down here as well. That'll hold the spark plug in while you gently guide it down into its hole. And now we want to thread it in. These threads are long, so it's gonna take you a minute. So we're gonna make easier work of this and use this. Get it into place. Spark plug number 2 is in. Spark plug number 3 is in. All right, so get your torque wrench. Looking at 17 foot-pounds. Now we torque this down to spec. Next up, ignition coils. So these go on top of the spark plug, and here are our brand spanking new coils. So for comparison, this is the oldest coil we had. This is the new one. Should see an increase in performance with this. So let's get them installed. ECS was kind enough to send me some spark plug boot protector. Basically what you do with this is you put just a little bit of it in here. That helps to protect the boot of this where it makes contact with the spark plugs. Number 1 in, number 2 is in, number 3, and number 4. Okay, I think we're in. Now's the moment of truth. Does the car start? Cross your fingers. Ah, we did it. Since the socket came late last night, all I had time to do was get the coils and plugs in, put everything back together, and then start the car to make sure I didn't break anything. So now all that's left to do is take Thor for a drive and see how it all feels. Now I wish we had some canyon roads around here that I could go and hop on, but unfortunately I'm not Matt Farah. I don't live in LA and have easy access to hilly, mountainous roads. I live in Dallas, Texas, where there's just flat, uninteresting kind of roads. First impressions, it feels a bit more responsive. Now I've had some kind of a strange wobble that I've dealt with the car, and it's always felt a bit like a slight misfire. Looking at the plugs and coils, one of them looked like it was very old and degraded more than the other ones. So I'm guessing that one was potentially giving me a slight misfire, or at least an issue with smooth running. That feels like it's gone. So it feels like that at least improved that. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting a giant boost in power. This isn't like throwing on a new exhaust and getting an immediate 20 horsepower or so, but I will say it feels more responsive. It feels like when I hit the gas, it wants to move a little bit better, and I should expect that. I would call this 100% worth it, especially if you're buying a higher mileage car and you look through the service records and you can't see when the spark plugs or coils were changed. This is a relatively inexpensive upgrade that you can do yourself very easily. I highly recommend this. Thanks again to ECS Tuning for helping me out with the plugs and coils. If you want to do this yourself, head to ECS Tuning, pick up an upgraded set. They've got a wide variety of products for any European-made car. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of this upgrade? Have you done this to your car? Are you thinking about doing it to your car? Have you bought the parts and you just wanted to see how to do it? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear all your thoughts. My name is Chaz. Thanks for watching Daily Driven Mods.